Okay, as you can see in today's video, I am going to go over some examples for radioactive decay law. That is the radioactive decay law right there. I think I have 3 examples we're going to go over. Please don't forget, before we do this, bottom right hand corner, subscribe to my channel. Click on that button right there, subscribe to my channel. Get all my excellent physics, chemistry, and math videos. And don't forget, I already made a video about an explanation of the radioactive decay law, which you can link to in the upper right-hand corner of this video. But let's get started. This is example number 1, radioactive decay law. We have a sample, and there are originally, at time equals 0, there are originally 2.88 times 10 to the 20 radioactive nuclei, and we are given that the decay constant lambda is equal to 0.1 over minutes, or minutes to the minus 1. So the decay constant is 0.1, 1 over m, or 1 over minute. And we want to know the number of radioactive nuclei that will be remaining after 1 hour, and we want to know the half-life of the sample. So we're going to use the radioactive decay law, which says that the NT, the number of radioactive nuclei at some time t, is equal to the original number of radioactive nuclei at time 0 times E, which is Euler's number, 2.718, and so on and so on, raised to the power of minus lambda. Lambda is the decay constant, which we were given, at times the time, which we were also given the time as 1 hour. So we are solving for the number of radioactive nuclei after 1 hour. That is NT, so we can just plug the values into this equation. That is 2.88 times 10 to the 20th. That's the number we had originally. That's N0, the number at time equals 0. And that is multiplied times E, Euler's number, raised the power of the decay constant, which raised the power of negative the decay constant, 0.1. Don't forget the negative sign. That's this negative sign right here. I suppose I could have put it out here. 0.1 minutes to the minus 1, which is 1 over minute. And then it said the time was 1 hour. These two values have to be in the same units. I could convert this to hours, but I decided to convert the 1 hour to minutes. That's 60 minutes in 1 hour, and we just multiply that through. And I made an extra little step here just to make sure you can check your math. This is the number N0, which is still the same, and E raised to the power of minus 6, because minus 0.1 times 60 is minus 6, and therefore we just calculate that, and we get that the number remaining in 1 hour, we have that many to start with, and the decay constant is 0.1. Then we will have 7.14 times 10 to the 17th remaining radioactive nuclei. Okay, so let's try example. No, oh, we want to know the half-life for this one also. Okay, for the half-life, we know that we can get the half-life using the equation for the decay constant, because the decay constant is equal to the natural log of 2 divided by the half-life. Simply switch the half-life and the decay constant. That's how it works algebraically. And it's just the natural log of 2 divided by the decay constant. The natural log of 2 is 0.693 divided by 0.1 minutes to the minus 1. This is minutes to the minus 1, which is 1 over m, which is 1 over minute, and that gives us that the half-life of that material with that decay constant is 6.93 minutes. All I did was take this value divided by this value, and I end up with minutes as my unit. Okay, so that is number 1. Now let's try number 2. Number 2 says we have tantalum 184, and it undergoes beta decay, and it has a half-life for that beta decay is 8.7 hours, 5 hours, and 18 minutes after the beginning of the data collection. The sample is found to have 6.00 times 10 to the 19 nuclei. And we want to know what's the decay constant again, and we want to be able to determine the number of radioactive nuclei that were present at time equals 0. So this value right here is NT. This is how many were remaining after 5 hours and 18 minutes. This is the isotope we're talking about, tantalum 184, and it has a half-life of 8.7. So we are 8.7 hours. We're going to use this equation once again. Now we have to calculate the decay constant first anyway, because we know that NT is 6.00 times 10 to the 19th. We're solving for N0. This is a constant, basically, Euler's number. We're given the time is 5 hours and 18 minutes. And we need the decay constant to do that. So we're just going to, for letter A, we're just going to calculate the decay constant first, which is the natural log of 2 divided by the half-life. I'm going to leave the half-life in hours. You can put it in any unit you want. Sometimes we put it in the seconds when we're calculating activity, but in this case, we're going to leave it as hours. And that means we have 0.693, that's a natural log of 2 divided by 8.7, and that tells us that the decay constant in this case is 7.97 times 10 to the minus 2, and that's hours to the minus 1, which is the same thing as 1 over hours because we have the hours in the bottom and there's nothing to cancel or anything like that. Okay, 797, 10 to the minus 2. Now we can calculate the number present at the beginning at time 0. So we're going to use the decay equation again. This time we're solving for n0. We know nt is this value here. We know that the time is 5 hours and 18 minutes. And we know we calculated the decay constant on the previous slide, 7.97 times 10 to the minus 2. So we're going to solve this equation for n0, which means we're just going to divide and end up with nt. Okay, we're going to divide both sides of the equation by e raised to the power of minus the decay constant times t. We're going to bring that over to the other side. Then we get n0 is equal to that. And we can simply plug the values in. 6, then nt, the number after that time is 6.0 times 10 to the 19. We're going to divide that by e raised to the negative power of 7.97 times 10 to the minus 2. That is the decay constant we got from the previous slide. And then we're going to multiply that by the number of hours, which is 5.33. Now, I just want to point out that the time was given in hours and minutes. We calculated the decay constant in hours, so we have to have the time in hours. So I converted 5 hours and 18 minutes into hours, and that gives us 5.33 hours. And we can do that again as 6 times 10 to the 19. And this value on the bottom, you want to just check your math instead of doing it all at once, is 6.54 times 10 to the minus 1. We just divide those, and we find out that we originally had more, which is what we should, because this is 6 times 10 to the 19 after 5 hours and 18 minutes. How many did we have before 5 hours and 18 minutes, or how many did we have originally? It was 9.18 times 10 to the 19 nuclei. Okay? And I think that was example number 2. Now we have example number 3. Maybe this one's going to be a little tricky. We'll see. Okay, we have a radioactive sample. It is found to have 7.8 times 10 to the 13 nuclei at time equals 0. Okay, so that's n0. That's the number at time equals 0, n0. 24 hours later, the number of radioactive nuclei has decreased to 2.7 times 10 to the 10th. That would be nt, and after some time, and this time is 24 hours, we want to know the half-life of the sample. So we are going to use the decay law again, but you can see the decay law doesn't have the half-life in it. Right? We have nt, n0, e, decay constant, and t. But inside here, so to speak, we have the half-life because that is lambda is equal to the natural log of 2 divided by the half-life. So I'm going to substitute this term in for lambda here, the decay constant, and then you can see that we get that nt is equal to n0 times e raised to the power of this fraction. You got to remember that e is not, it's not e times this fraction, it's e raised to the power, and we're looking to solve here for the half-life. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we want to get everything else to the other side, so to speak, except for the half-life, and so we're going to divide by n0. So now we have nt divided by n0, and that is equal to e raised to the power of minus ln2 over t divided by the half-life. Now we want to get the half-life, so what we're going to do, this is maybe a mathematical trick. Of course, it's not the mathematical trick, but this is what you do mathematically. You can take the natural log of both sides of this equation, the natural log of this side, the natural log of this side, and the natural log of nt divided by n0 is, that's right, the natural log of nt divided by n0. But the most important thing is the natural log of e raised to any power is just that power. So we can get rid of the e, so to speak, by taking the natural log of this side also, and we just get that. We now have minus, don't forget the minus sign, because that's the minus sign that comes from right here. This minus sign, we have this minus sign, we have this minus sign, and this minus sign, don't lose it. the natural minus the natural log of 2 times t, which is 24 hours, and divided by the half-life. So now what I like to do is go to the next slide, bring the equation with us, and then plug the values in. Okay, so we plug nt is 2.7 times 10 to the 10, n0 is 7.8 times 10 to the 13th, ln2 minus ln2, the natural log of 2 is just the natural log of 2. And then we put the time in here, 24 hours, and we have the half-life. So now I'm going to solve for this side. And then if I do that, I have to take 2.7 times 10 to the 10th, divided by 7.8 times 10 to the 13th, and then take the natural log of that. You don't take the natural log of each one first. You do the math here inside the brackets, inside the parentheses, and then you take the natural log and you'll get minus 7.97. And then in this side, we're going to take the natural log of 2, which is 0.693. So 0.693 times 24 is minus 16.64 hours, divided by the half-life, and then I can solve with half-life just by switching these two values out. You can do that algebraically, and you get the half-life is 2.1 hours. So all I'm doing is I'm taking minus 16.64 hours. When I switch this, then it becomes that value divided by minus 7.97, and those two values, one divided by the other, will give you a positive time, but you got to have a positive time. It's always good to have a positive time. And then the half-life is 2.1 hours. Okay, so there you go. That was 3 nice examples I did for radioactive decay law. Don't forget I made an explanation video, which you can link to in the upper right-hand corner of this video. Please, if you found this video helpful, then please do all the following 4 things. Subscribe to my channel, support my channel, get all my excellent physics, chemistry, and math videos. Leave me a comment. Come on, comment. Let me know what you think of this video. Just write down there, go down there, make a little comment. Give me a thumbs up, and don't forget sharing is caring. Share this video with all of your friends. Show them just how much you care. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.